upon the bulk of the global community. We cannot be selfish, subversive, or isolate ourselves. We have to read, we have to reflect, we have to discuss, we have to search for common solutions. We cannot be reactionary, we can't be confrontational and calling for sectarian causes. We have both the right and the responsibility of our faith and our principles, our morality and our social resources to compete for ascendancy, for influence, for leadership. We can see what is wrong and seek to correct it. And we can speak and we can seek the support of other Americans to bring about a desired change. Because you know what I have found out? There are other Americans who feel just like we do, but they don't know what to do. We feel a certain way and the body has told us what to do. So if we got the answer, guess who's responsible? It is us. We need to bring about our desired change. We cannot sit on the sidelines, criticizing, condemning, blaming, and contributing towards fractionalism and separatism. For the last 50 years, a population explosion has taken place in North America, bringing Muslims from merely hundreds of thousands to over 8 million. However, until now, we have not heard from those who claim to be the continental representatives. You know, there's some people who's claiming that they are the continental representatives of the Muslims in America. I don't know who these guys think they are. I don't care if you call yourself Isno or Nais. I don't care if you're Igno or Nigna. You ain't no representative of this country, of people who was here before you got here. How you gonna be the leaders of some other country, of people that was here before you got here? You ain't my representative. You my Muslim brothers. And I will say that what you're doing, you have a right to do, and you are legitimate in doing it, but you are not the self-appointed leaders of nobody. And if you want to be the leaders, you got to address these issues. Because Islam is not about leadership in name. Islam is not about leadership because you got a PhD and you graduated from a university. Islam is that you take the lead because you are responsible. You take the lead because you're willing to put your neck on the line. You take the lead because you're willing to live it and walk it and die for it. If you're not willing to do that, you can't lead nobody in this country, because the people who are fornicating, they're willing to die for what they believe. The faggots and the homosexuals, they're marching and they want to die to do what they want to do. And you don't want to die to do what you want to do. Guess what? By default, you lose. We Muslims have to be part. I'm sorry, let me finish. I said, until now, we have not heard from those who claim to be the continental representatives of this population of Muslims as to how we should participate. I want to remind each of us that it is not enough to merely live in America, build Islamic centers in America, work in America, and take benefit from the American social system. No, we have to participate. And participation means planning. Participation means investment. Participation breeds real commitment. Commitment leads to active involvement. And it is human nature to compete with others. The spirit of competition means that some people will gain ascendancy over others. And inevitably, some people will win. I know there are scholars, students of knowledge, and influential speakers who will advise you to resist this idea, this thinking, to separate, to confront the system, and even others who will use powerful rhetoric to influence you towards subversion and religious extremism. However, I want to warn you and advise you, especially the young people, such inclinations will rob you of the opportunity and the legacy which is in front of you. You are America. Not only are you Americans, but you and me, we are America. And we can use our Islamic values to change and reform America. And I believe that if we sincerely participate in the the dynamics shaping this country, we will be able to compete with other ideas and other resources, and people will begin to recognize. This will provide us with the prospect of winning and gaining social and political leverage in America. This is how I would like you to envision Islam in America. So they just told me I had time up. It's pretty good time, right? Now, brothers and sisters, look, I'll be honest with you, the implications which I have said in this, there are about 10 implications in what I've written here. An implication means I have implied something. It doesn't have to be a fact, but I have made some very powerful implications. So now, if you think that my basic set of rationale has no basis, has no moral principle in Islam, you should say that. You should have to believe that what you said here had no basis in Islam. And then we can discuss that further. But if in fact I have given you an argument that is functional, reasonable, profitable, beneficial, feasible, workable, rational, it's like a business plan, right? It means that it can be applied. And you know what, brothers and sisters? Islam is a functional religion. And most Muslims, most Americans today, they are living as moral dysfunctionaries. But we Muslims are living as institutional dysfunctionaries. Yarahmatullah. So two dysfunctionaries cannot agree upon nothing. We Muslims have to be institutionally functional, and we have to be morally functional. And we have to call America not only to be institutionally functional, but to be what? Morally functional. Because if the fiber optics and telecommunications, the sophistication of science keep going up and up and up and up and up, the further up you go, the more dysfunctional that you are, guess what happens? The harder you fall. But we're the ones that can stabilize what's happening in this country today. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that the bubble of riba has busted. Is this correct? Huh? No one needs to say that the economic system in the country has failed because of the conspiracy of the smooth criminals that we call bankers. They have robbed the country, and everybody knows it. We don't have to be rocket scientists to know that the statistics tell us that there are more alcoholics in America than there are people that drink water in the rest of the world. We don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that 1 out of every 3 children that are born in America are bastards. That is not a curse word. That is something that says that the person is illegitimate. Is that right? 1 out of 3. We don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand that marriage right now, to most people, out of 10 people in the world today, out of 10 people in America, only 3 are even considering marriage. SubhanAllah. So marriage is failing. The family is being subverted. Alcoholism is rampant. The biggest industry in America today, do you know what it is? It is pornography. Pornography is bigger than 5 of the top industries in the world. Last year, the pornography industry created $39 billion of revenue, just America. Last year, over 26 million children were aborted in America. More people are dying from alcohol than died from all the wars fought in the last 200 years. And today, having a home is not even an option anymore. Because if you do buy a house in America and you don't have cash, that means you are a slave for life, just for that one house. So what about your children? So who has the answer for all these dilemmas? Muslims. We have the answers, and Allah is going to hold us responsible. So now, brothers and sisters, I want to end this here. Of course, I said this was just a proposition. Okay, and if you would like to get a copy of this, it's nothing secret. I don't mind. We'll give you my business card, our business card. My email is sky.purpose. It's right there. Send me an email. Say, Chef, I'd like to have a copy of that proposition that you made, and I'll send you a copy. No problem. Free of charge. Okay? Now, I'd like to take the time because I see that, like